We have a little change of scenery here.
Welcome to the live stream. We are excited to be here. It has been quite a week, so we'll wait till everybody kind of streams in here. Let us know how you're doing. It is actually pretty warm here in Bangkok today. Hey Ted, hey Jack, good to see you.
Pretty toasty.
Hey Sheree, I think you might have been the first one in since we went live. Welcome, Travel Artistry VR, Bonnie, Gary from Japan, from the waters of Japan.
That's right, Traveling Hatter.
Traveling Hatter.
Wow,
Welcome,
so
everybody.
many of you in here.
Hey Robert.
Robert, hello.
I can't tell you how great it is to see you guys today. It really is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be therapeutic for us, I think. So, thank you guys. Really want to say we appreciated the overwhelming amount of messages we got yesterday and the day before. Hey Cherie, thank you. Hey Monica, Julie, and I know the other Monica's in here too.
That's right, Scripty Monica.
Hey Heather and Bonnie, welcome. Hey David.
Vanessa, David.
David's got me
Welcome,
hyped up
everybody.
for the donning. What is it going to be? The food scavenger hunt. Yeah.
Dinner scavenger hunt? I think it's
Food
dinner scavenger hunt.
Scavenger hunt.
I don't remember.
We'll figure it out. Hey Aravinda, welcome.
Hello.
Hey Stacy, Simple Meals is here.
Ooh, Mother's Day in Ireland. Happy Mother's Day to all the Irish mamas.
Yeah. I saw Nikki Poon in there too earlier. Welcome. Saw Lynell too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Carolyn, welcome.
Thanks for your messages, everybody.
Creative Homescaping.
Twist and Travels,
John,
welcome.
Twist and Travels. It's Pam and Larry.
Hey Agent Grateful.
Hello.
Hey Laura, thank you. We really appreciate that.
Yeah. Glad to see you guys.
Wave to the camera. Hey.
Hi. it's the real us.
Hey brown-eyed girl. So we are not in our apartment anymore. We moved. We'll get into that in a minute. It's gonna be hard to get through this one without crying probably, so hopefully you'll excuse us.
I actually brought a box of Kleenex today over here.
So yeah, it's been a week, as they say. Hey Noah's Ark, welcome. Just really glad you guys are all here.
Rick and Ava.
Yeah.
Greg, everybody, welcome in. Thank you guys for joining us today.
So I wanted to start by saying the week started off on a pretty bad note for us. If you haven't heard, hey Martin and Tanya, if you haven't heard, Allie's father passed away this week, and that was pretty tough on us. So, she just wanted to say something real quick about that.
I just wanted to say thank you. We shared it on social media because we knew we were going to be away from stuff and not answering things for a while. So just wanted to say we're really thankful. I'm very thankful for you guys and all of your beautiful comments that you left on our social media posts, and it just really warmed my heart. It was very difficult, and actually ended up making the very difficult decision of not going to the US. So it's been a very tough time for us, and we do appreciate having you guys kind of as an extension, as our friends and family, extension of what we're doing, and as we travel around the world. And you know, I couldn't have received the news in a better place, because Thailand is full of so many kind people that just they just really embraced us, and they've just been extremely kind. And all of the people that we know here, the Thai people we know here, anytime we interacted with them, they were like, saying how sorry they were. And it was just so kind. I went to get a massage a few days ago, and the girl that I regularly get said she was really sorry, and she said, I'm gonna take care of you today. And it was just super sweet. It's just the kindness of Thailand and just what comes with the people here. But I just wanted to say thank you for your kind words, and those of you sharing here too. I really do appreciate that. It really means a lot to me personally. And I really loved my dad. He was a really great man. I'm one of 4 girls. For anybody that doesn't know that, I'm daughter number 2 of the 4 girls, and he was one of the best girl dads out there. He was really great. He always had some, we've shared this last week, we've just, every time we think of it, we share funny stories, because my dad was probably one of the most kind-hearted people like that I'd ever met in my whole life. Actually, one of my sisters is a lot like him, like super kind-hearted, just like will give you, literally take the shirt off their back and give it to you. They're so beautiful. But my dad was that kind of person, and you know, we just kind of talked about a lot of the funny stuff he would say in different places. And the last time we took my mom and dad on vacation, I think I posted, his birthday would have been yesterday. He would have been 75. But just posted a picture of a really fun picture. He was having such a good time in the lazy river when we took him on vacation, took them to a water park, and it was just really funny because he was like a little kid in that lazy river. But anyways, I just wanted to say thank you. Just really appreciate that, and it really does mean an awful lot to us. This community that we have around us on YouTube, and just like on all our different social media channels and stuff, it's really interesting, because like we don't know you, but we know you. The same thing with you guys, like you don't know us, but you know us. And it's just an interesting, you know, thing in our life to have that connection with people, and just kind of feel like you know people, and you have like more people out there who care about you. So thank you guys.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it was a tough week, but we kind of got through it, and then thanks Jack and Robert, appreciate that. You know, you guys know the earthquake happened 2 days ago, so we want to talk about what you need to know if you're planning on coming to Thailand, but we wanted to walk you through our day, because it was unbelievable. Like I'm gonna have a hard time getting through this, but the day of the earthquake, the night before was opening day baseball, in the U.S., and so I stayed up till like 5 a.m. watching baseball, and Allie went to sleep, and she woke up and went out and was out shopping or doing something.
I went to the massage.
You went to the massage, yeah.
I was across town, a good probably 45 minutes away from him by train. By train, it was only maybe about a half hour or so.
So I just planned to sleep in that day, and I was sleeping actually when the earthquake happened. I was in our apartment, and we're in a high rise, and our apartment's on the 35th floor. And when you do this lifestyle, some of you have probably felt this before. Sometimes you wake up and you don't really know where you are for a couple seconds. Like you're like, where am I again? Because it changes a lot. And I woke up, and I didn't wake up naturally. I woke up and I thought to myself, the waves are really bad. Like this cruise ship is really rocking. And I just thought, I thought about it for a second. I thought, I'm not on a cruise ship. I'm in Bangkok. And I started to hear all this cracking around me. And I just got this overwhelming sense like something is terribly, terribly wrong, because the building was just swaying so much that it woke me up. And then I heard the cracking. And then I walked out into the living room pretty quickly. And the first thing I saw was a huge crack in the wall right in front of me. It just went like a spider, like just or a lightning bolt, just all the way, top to bottom. The drywall just cracked open, and then the ceiling started falling, like not the whole ceiling, but like parts of the ceiling, like chips,
pieces chipped off of the drywall on the ceiling.
Pieces started falling down around me in the apartment on the 35th floor, and I was like, I just immediately thought to myself, if I don't get out of this place right now, I'm going to die. And I grabbed my phone, thankfully. That's the one thing I did grab. I put my flip-flops on, which were the closest thing to the door, and I just ran out the door, like ran as fast as I could, ran down the hallway. Later I realized I didn't even shut the door behind me, because it was so intense that it was literally like you thought to yourself 30 seconds could be the difference between life and death. So I got to the stairwell. I saw a lady running. I didn't know where the stairwell was. I saw a lady running down my hallway. Followed her. I figured she knows where she's going. Got in the stairwell, and it's like every floor is like two flights, so it's 70 flights down. And just started running in my flip-flops, and everyone was running, and the further down we went, the more people were coming into the stairwell. And after a couple floors, it was just packed with people. There was like hundreds of people in the stairwell, and a lot of people were crying and just wailing, and the drywall was coming off the stairwell. It was falling off the ceiling on us as we were coming down, and it was still like cracking because there was a earthquake, and it was pretty long, and then there was another pretty big aftershock. And so we ran down for what seemed like forever. And then I got to, I was like dead tired because, like, you know, I don't do stairs. So, and I was dead tired, and I was like, I got to be getting close. And I looked at the wall, and it said floor 22. And I thought, right then, I was just like completely dejected. I was like, there's no way we're going to make it. Like, because you could see, and there was water coming in on some of the floors, which now I think was probably from the pool. But there's 4 pools in that building, and if you've seen some of the videos of the pools, just like they were just losing all their water. But we thought it was maybe a pipe, or multiple pipes, but I think it now was the pool. So we'd get to the certain floors, and we'd be falling because of the water, because you were going like fast, like as fast as you can believe, like literally running for your life. Like that's what it was. And you couldn't stop because the people behind you were running for their life. It was like there was a speed, and we were just all going. And so at some point down the 35 flights, I realized my flip-flops they were slowing me down. And I was like, at this point, I didn't think I was going to make it. Like I literally thought that this was it. I didn't see any way I could get down. And so I thought, you know, if I got rid of my flip-flops, I'd get down quicker by like 2 minutes. And so I think I just chucked them. Other people were just chucking. People were trying to carry stuff, and they were just throwing it because they were like, it really felt, and the fear was contagious because the fear, you know, everyone was crying, everyone was wailing, and it was just like, it just really felt like this was it. And so we kept going, and just like, I'm just keep going. And it's funny because when you're in that moment, then you realize all I got to do is go down. You have a lot of time to think, because it doesn't take you a minute or 2 minutes to get down these stairs. It takes you like 10 minutes, and you have a lot of time to think. And I thought about a lot of stuff, like 9/11. I thought I was glad Allie wasn't there. Thought about the kids, made my peace with what was happening, and just said, I'm just going to keep going. till we get there. And so we all kept going. And the crazy thing, there was a woman in front of me about my age, and she was carrying a baby down the whole way. And I was just like, this is crazy. So we got down to the 6th floor, and there was a big mass of people at the 6th floor. And I was like, why are we at the 6th floor? We're stopped. And I was like, I fought my way through them. I was like, we got to get down to 1G, ground floor. So I went around them. And we were on the corner. It was just pitch dark around the corner. And I put my phone on, and you could just see water, like water everywhere. And so everyone had stopped because we couldn't get down any further. So I went back up to the little foyer. And so people were jumping out the window. And I asked this guy, I was like, what are we doing? He's like, we're going out the window. It's the only way out. I was like, okay, we're going out the window. So I kind of got up there. I jumped out the window. There was a ledge. And then I jumped onto a tree and climbed down the tree. And that got me to the courtyard. And this time I didn't have I had lost my shoes long ago. And so I got into the courtyard of the building, which I think was either on the 4th or the 5th floor. I don't know how far down it was. But then we were just in the middle of the building. I was like, we're still right next to the building. So we had to go back into the building across the way to try to get down the other stairwell. And so we went in there and we went down, and it was dark too, but I turned my phone on and I was like, this one doesn't have water. Let's keep going down. So we went down that. I don't really remember how, but we went down. The next thing I remember is we were out in the street, and our apartment's on like a big highway. And it was kind of like in a zombie movie, like hundreds of people, because there's probably 1,000 people in our apartment. Hundreds of people just ran onto the highway together, and the traffic just stopped. And it was just like a stream of people. And I got about halfway across the highway, and I realized it's 98 degrees outside in Bangkok, and this blacktop was like 140 degrees. And I got about halfway across, and I didn't have shoes. I could feel my feet were like burning, like blistering, burning, just like awful. I was just like running, and I got across the street. I found like a little patch of shade under an awning, and then I just stood there for a minute, and my legs were like shaking from the 35 flights. My feet were burning. They were bloody from whatever I'd run over, tree, drywall, whatever, running across the street. And I just sat there, and that's when I first texted Allie like that. That's when I first texted her, and then she knew I was okay, and we didn't really know what was going on. I just knew I was in serious trouble because I had no food, no water, I didn't bring my wallet, I had no money, I had no shoes, and I looked down at my feet, and like I couldn't walk. They were in such bad shape. My legs and my feet combined. Still, even today, I'm having a hard time standing up. Like I can barely stand up, just because of.
Well, he's got really bad. He got a blood blister on his big toe on one of his feet, and then also a blister started forming just from all of the heat. He probably got the blood blister, I'm assuming, from maybe climbing down the tree, but then the rest of his foot has blisters on it from, I think, the heat is the only thing I can think of, from the asphalt crossing the street. And so
then I have a deep like bone bruise on my heel from the
jumping
70 flights. Just like it was bare feet down the hard stairs, like boom, 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 like, that's 700 hits of your heel on a hard stair. And it was like, so by the time I got down there and just stood and the adrenaline started to wear off, it was extreme pain. And so I'm standing there and I'm texting Ellie, I'm like, I'm in a really bad spot here. And she started looking, and she was like, I can't get to you. There's no way I can get to you in under 4 or 5 hours, right?
Traffic at that point was already gridlocked. People were already in their cars and on the roads, and there was Cars weren't moving. Even if you've seen the videos before, you know, the motorbikes, they zip in and out of traffic with no problem. That was not happening because there were so many already on the road. So me trying to get a car to him, well, and they shut down the trains, by the way, obviously. So I couldn't get back to him by train. So it was, if I walked at my normal clip, I could make it to him in 2 hours. That wasn't going to happen, especially in the heat during the daytime still, because this all happened in the daytime in like the heat of the day, which is probably why his foot is in the condition it's in. And so I tried to see if I could get him a car and bring him to me, because we could stay at my friend's massage shop if we needed to, because it only has 4 floors, which is where I was when the earthquake occurred. And we couldn't get a car. Every driver kept canceling. They're like, I can't make it there. I can't make it there. And it said it was going to be an hour and a half, 2 hours just to pick up, and then another 2 hours or more to drop off, if even that. It ended up being that it was not possible to even get in a car. So the girls at the massage shop, when they saw my desperation, they were like, well, I told them where our apartment was, and they knew where we were, and they were like, ooh, that's going to be too far for you to walk. And so they said, we have an app, we can order you a bike. You just have to pay him cash. I was like, no problem, I have cash. And it was only like 200 baht, which is like $6, you guys. And so I said, yeah, that's no problem at all. I was going to intend to give him more anyways because of the situation. But anyways, the guy gets there. They were talking to him in Thai to get him to the massage shop because it's kind of in an alleyway. And so he got to the shop, picked me up. They put me on the bike. They're like, okay, make sure you hang on. They were so cute. They were like, make sure to hang on to them. And so I get on the bike, and a ride that would take maybe 15, 20 minutes took over an hour on the motorbike, which is the faster way to move because it goes in between cars. Where there were so many motorbikes, they weren't moving as fast as they normally do.
Yeah, so while she was doing that, I knew she was going to be so long, and I was like in trouble because I didn't have anything, and I was literally drenched in sweat. I was in my pajamas, actually, still. I was in my PJs. A lot of people were in their pajamas walking around. So I'm standing there in this all I've got is this little patch of shade because there's like thousands of people in the street. And so there's this car dealership that we're standing across from, and the guy comes out with big packs of water, and he just starts passing them out to everybody, and he hands me one, and I'm like, okay, that's amazing, thank you. Now that's my first need met. And so he went around and passed these out to everybody. And then a few minutes later, after he passed out the water, he said he came by and invited us all into the car dealership to sit on the ground because they had air conditioning. And so that was like second need met, thank you so much, that's amazing. So we go in there, we're sitting and just kind of like trying to regroup, and I'm sitting on the floor. We're really not that far from the building, and my feet are just like a complete mess. Like they're completely black from the road, whatever.
Like filthy
Black. They're bloodied, they're blistered. It's awful.
Not a good look.
It wasn't a good look.
He texted me a picture.
I was completely drenched in sweat, and I was in my pajamas, unshaven. So probably the most unapproachable I've ever felt in my life. If I was trying to scare people away, that would have been the look. So I'm sitting there, and I get this concern because we still had service. Robert was asking if we had service. We still had service. I actually got on social media, and I saw that a building had collapsed, and I was like, oh no, and everyone that was there with me, they were pretty concerned. They kept looking back up at our building because we weren't very far from it, and if it gone down, it was pretty big. It was like 40, 50 stories tall. If it were to come down, it still would have got us. And the people were like preparing. If they saw something, they were going to run down the alley. But I was like, I'm still in trouble because I cannot run with my feet how they are, with the pavement how hot it is. I wouldn't make it 5 steps before I just fell down and passed out. I don't have shoes. I don't have flip-flops. And I was getting very concerned about this because everyone kept looking, and I didn't know what was going to happen. And the most amazing thing happened then. And so these young girls that were in the car dealership with us, they were going around and they were making shoes for people out of envelopes, like mail. They had gotten some mail
like those manila
from the
business envelopes.
They were making shoes, and one of them came up to me and asked me in English, and I was the only Westerner in the building. They asked me in English, "Do you need shoes?" And I was like, "Yes, I desperately need shoes." And so this young girl sits down in front of me looking like I look, and takes my feet, makes the shoes, gets some plastic bags, rips them into long strips, and she starts tying the envelopes around my feet. And I was like so thankful in that moment, because I was like, this could actually save my life. If I have to go, I would not be able to go. And then like, because they're Thai, they take it to a level that you could never imagine. And so I'm sitting there, and she's done making the shoes. She's like, okay. And then she reached into her hair, pulled out her hair ties from her hair, and she gave them to me. I put them on the bottle here. There's these things. She pulled out her hair ties. She handed them to me, and she said, "In case the bags break when you run, you can fix your shoes with these." And I was just like, that just got me. I was like, nobody beats the Thai people, because I had nothing to offer at that moment. I was just an old guy sitting on the floor with no money, no food, no nothing, couldn't speak the language. And these people just took care of me, like, without my even asking. And young people, old people just took care of me. And so, I have this is the water bottle actually they gave me, and this is the
GM Car Service.
Yeah.
GM Car Service Company Limited.
And these are the hair ties she took out of her hair. And thankfully, the building didn't come down. And so I sat there. We just sat in there all day, and everyone was talking to me and just keeping me company. And we sat there till after 7 o'clock at night. And that was when finally Allie walked her way all the way to me, and that's when you met back up.
Yeah, so the traffic was so bad, and the poor guy, it was so stressful, I'm sure, for him driving me. He didn't speak English, so we were just kind of signing stuff. He was like, oh, there's traffic. I was like, I know. I just kept saying, it's okay, it's okay. I kept saying, my perai, it's okay. So I see we're getting close to like a mall that I could walk from. Like, I knew I could walk from Terminal 21 home, or to where he was. So I thought, if I have him drop me off here, I know I can walk there. And it's usually only about 25-30 minute walk. So I thought, I can do that, no problem. I do it all the time. I walk more than that. So I had him drop me off, and I gave him more than double what he was charging me, because he was so great. He was so kind and helpful to even come and pick me up. Most people were just canceling rides and not doing it at all. So he dropped me off, and then I went across the street to where I needed to be, and I started walking. Well, the problem was that it was like shoulder to shoulder people on the sidewalk, because there's no trains. People aren't driving in the cars because the cars are just sitting. So we're just bumper to bumper, like just, a little school of fish just walking. So it took me probably 45-50 minutes to get there at that speed, to finally get to him. I got to our building, but he was across the street, so I had to go all the way down to the end of the street, across and back to get to him. But finally got to him. Well, first I stopped at our building, and I checked with the guard at the door that we usually go in through, and she said, it's okay, you can go back inside. they had cleared the building. Our host had kept us informed and said, hey, the engineers should be finishing up at such and such time, checking the building. And then, so I went and picked Rob up, and I don't know how you made it across the street in his condition. I mean, he was barely moving, but nobody got upset that he was holding up the flow of traffic on the sidewalk. Literally no one said anything. And he was barely moving. It took us forever just to get him up across the street and back to our apartment. And then we made it back to our apartment together after it was cleared. And our host actually messaged us and said, hey, I went to your apartment to, check it, and the door was open. So just wanted you to know that I closed it for you. And we were like, oh my gosh. And then that's when Rob realized I just left, and I left the door open. Of course, nothing was missing because it's Thailand. Nobody's going to take anything. But, we went back to the apartment then and saw it for ourselves.
Yeah, so we stayed there that night, and we stayed there the next night, and then I was having trouble sleeping in the apartment, and
it was just stressing you out. Every
stressing.
single little sound was like, what was that sound? It was too stressful for you to stay in the apartment. So.
Yeah. So we're at a low-rise hotel now, and it's totally fine. Like, it's totally no stress.
And we're actually
Perfect.
right across the street from the hospital.
So yeah, that was our story. So we're gonna take a few days and just do some hotels, and that's the thing. One of the things we said a long time ago is if one of us, and this is true of solo travelers too, if you get in a situation and it's okay just to eat your accommodation and just leave, if you have to pay twice. We just said if either one of us isn't feeling it, it's okay. We can do it. So we got all those points. We got some free nights here, so
yeah, thankfully we just had points sitting around.
Yeah, I feel a million times better just being here. I think it's going to be fine now.
Yeah.
My legs are starting to work. My feet are starting to heal. So,
yeah, we actually got a text from, I see a lot of people talking about also like the PTSD and stuff from it. And we actually got a text today from our doctor's office and said, take care of your mental health. If you guys need anything, please, just walk in and we'll take care of you. This is going to stay with you for a while. So they said, when you experience something like this, it's different for everybody, and it's not this is the biggest earthquake we've ever been in, and many of these people have as well. And it's pretty significant for an area like this to have something like that happen. And it's just, it's challenging for everyone in different ways. So it was kind of nice to get that too from the doctor's office, just saying, we're here if you guys need anything, come and see us.
Yeah. So we were looking forward to talking to you guys, and so if you want to ask questions now, we can do that. That was the whole
Yeah,
whole
sorry
day.
if you asked a question before, we might have missed it, but we'll try to address a few of the things that we saw. Somebody said, would we stay in, Scripty Monica said if we would stay in a high rise again.
Yeah, not this week. Probably in the future we will. I did want to address.
We're taking a break this week.
Taking a break this week, but like I got in here and in our apartment, the walls, every single wall has a crack from the ceiling to the floor.
The hallways.
There's drywall everywhere.
We got up to our floor, got out of the
triggering.
elevator, and the second we walked out of the elevator, there's drywall all over the ground, and then drywall all around the corner and into our apartment. And then we get into our apartment, and there was just, it looked like it just rained drywall all along the main living room wall, in the kitchen. It was, there was stuff everywhere.
So we got to this hotel, which is a new hotel. We're in the Hyatt, and there's not a crack in the whole hotel. It's like nothing ever happened. And I think basically, if there's any damage to anything, it's because you were up pretty high. These low-rise hotels, they're completely fine. The trains are running again. So the question was, I think someone just asked, should we still visit? Yeah, I think you should still visit. I'm not leaving. If anything, rekindles in me how everyone needs to come here. You need to come here. You need to come to Vietnam. You need to come to Japan, because you haven't experienced kindness on the level that they do it. You don't. We don't know what that is in our culture. We don't, unfortunately. But when you're here, you'll feel it, and that's something that you shouldn't wait your whole life to do. I mean, if we'd have done this 20 years ago, we'd have been coming the whole 20 years, because you sense it, you feel it. So I think Jack was asking in the community. He was going to be at a hotel, and he was going to a low rise. I think anything 10 stories or lower, I would feel comfortable in. There's a lot of Holiday Inn Expresses, Hyatt Places that are new, and they're I feel totally fine. The trains are running, everything's back to normal-ish, unless there are some buildings that people didn't get back in, like that you can't go back in. But the hotels are pretty much fine. The Park Hyatt, we just found out tonight, is actually closed because they're working on something. So if you were going to be staying on the Park Hyatt, you need to look for something else.
Find a new place. You can't stay there.
Let me see. There's some questions here. I'm going to try to go back. If I miss your question, just ask it again. Yeah, because we must have missed it. Yeah. Let's see. I know that one of the hotels we recommend was the Holiday Inn Express Central Pier. That's a really low hotel.
I think there's only 6 or 7 floors maybe on that one, like this one. This one only has 7 floors, and the pool is on the rooftop, so the 8th floor, but there's no rooms up there, so 7.
Yeah. Hey, Alexa. Good to see you.
Alexa's here.
Yeah, no question. They'll be helping you.
Alexa knows. She's been here a couple of times. She knows for sure about the Thai kindness.
Yeah, Jack, the Holiday...
Alexa is our daughter, by the way, is for anybody that doesn't know.
Yeah, the Holiday Inn Express, I would have no concerns over that whatsoever.
Yeah, you're good there.
Hyatt Place, anything that's low like that. The hotel that you saw that was swaying on the news and all the water dumped out, that was the Intercontinental.
Yeah, the Intercontinental Sukhumvit.
Which is probably still fine, but I will personally probably avoid it.
Rob will not be visiting it anytime soon.
Someone from the community, Bill, was in the Holiday Inn, I think. I don't know if he's here. It's pretty late, Thailand, if he's still in Thailand.
Yeah, he's probably asleep.
He was on the 24th floor, he said, checking out of the hotel when it happened. It was crazy. I didn't get to find out if he had to run down, but yeah, so many things. So I personally think it's fine, and if you're planning on coming to Thailand, you should come. You need to do it's probably fine to do anything, but you need to do what I've learned is do what you know you're not going to have any questions about. You're not going to second guess yourself. For me right now, that's like we're on the 7th floor of a hotel, totally fine. This hotel's not moving. If you don't even feel comfortable with that, you can go down to a beach town, Hua Hin or Rayong. They didn't experience anything.
Yep.
So
no problem.
They're even farther away.
Yep.
So you can do that too. You can go to Koh Samui. You can go. We did have some friends up in Chiang Mai, and they had to evacuate.
Yep. They did. They were actually texting me. We were live texting while I was also texting Rob. So.
Yeah. It's not my water.
Oh. It's okay.
I think Crash Course Travel is Bill. So he says,
oh,
I experienced the same Thai kindness.
Good.
Otherwise, I might have had a heat stroke.
It was really warm
was
because
so hot that day.
literally was just right in the middle of the afternoon. I think it was maybe like close to 2 o'clock or something like that. That's probably the hottest possible time to be outside. I mean, we plan things to not be outside at that time of the day because it is sweltering. Even for somebody who grew up in Florida and is used to the heat and humidity, 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon is just silly to be outside, and these people had no choice. I went down to check on the trains a couple of times, and then after that, the staff was like, we'll just tell you, you don't have to keep walking down there. We are keeping track of it. We'll tell you. So they were translating all the news to me. They were like, there might be an aftershock up until 4:30, so don't go anywhere. Just stay here until then. And I was then relaying it to Rob. So they were telling me all the news. They were reading it in Thai and then translating it to me. So that was nice to have kind of that inside news information. And then they said they're not running the BTS today, so you can't go home that way.
Yeah, Bill, we were so happy to hear that you were okay.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
It was quite a day, man. And you were in where you were. There was probably a ton of traffic. Hey, Prime Time, thanks for that. Robert has a question here. If there's anything you would have done differently or could have possibly prepared, there was. Now, granted, the thing was, I was in the stairwell going down the stairs probably less than a minute after I woke up. That's how quickly.
From being completely asleep.
Completely asleep to being down in the stairwell in less than a minute. That's how quickly I went. Because once I assessed the situation, it felt like death. And I was like, let's go. So that kind of ruined any planning. But yeah, there was a door closer that I could have gone down that I found out probably
might not have been as crowded as the main one, which is the one he went down.
Second thing was I would have put my actual shoes on instead of my foot. I had the flip flops that are just like the one with the little toe
just thongs that you slide your feet into.
And they were really slowing me down, and so I would have put my actual shoes that strapped in. If I had done that, I wouldn't have got blisters. I wouldn't have had to get rid of them. I would have probably had leg fatigue probably if I'd have done that. And then I would have got my wallet because I didn't have any money. Sadly, I did pick up my phone, which was good. Then for some
that is good.
dumb reason, right next to my phone is my watch, and I picked up my watch. I was like, I got down all the way like hours later. I was like, why did I grab my watch? The one thing I don't
instead
need.
of your wallet.
I grabbed my watch, and then the crazy thing was I didn't even put it on while I was running down the stairs, so I didn't even get credit for the flights of stairs. So no steps, even though I brought my watch. But that's what I would have done. You know, it's hard to say because it's just instinct at that point. It's instinct, and there wasn't too much I would have done differently other than grab my wallet and put my better shoes on. Yeah, it's.
There's a few people, it looks like, coming. Cheryl's coming to the Hilton Millennium.
Yeah. I mean, if they say they don't have damage, they're probably fine.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. You're probably fine there.
I don't think most of the buildings that are. Yeah. If they say they don't have damage, they
and the thing about it is the the drywall chipping off. It's like really thin drywall, but it wasn't the concrete behind it that was falling off. It was the drywall.
Yeah.
That that was the triggering thing. But when you see pieces falling, you just think to yourself, okay, you're like Chicken Little. The sky is falling. When you see pieces falling, that's what you think instantly. But going back and actually looking at it, you can see the concrete behind those thin little sheets of drywall that they put up. So it's not really a construction issue per se, because they did change the standards, to build to protect the buildings from earthquakes because they built such big buildings. I mean, they had people on the top floor, the 79th floor of the Mahanakan, the King Power Mahanakan building, the building that looks like a lake, like Legos, where the people go out on the 79th floor. They were up there when it happened on that glass tray floating above the city. But you could see the videos of, the building swaying, but it's not, it didn't have structural damage to it. So, they do the best that they can. And I think that they do a good job, honestly.
And the people that were in the pool,
oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But so a question here about the Sheraton on the river.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't heard anything. The only one that we've heard that's closed is the Park Hyatt.
Mm-hmm.
And so The good news is, like, because they did close the Park Hyatt, that if the other ones were damaged, they would be taking care of those too.
Yeah.
So I think that basically pretty much all the hotels are fine. It's just up to you. Like, what are you comfortable with?
Yeah. That's the big thing, is you do have to make a decision of like, okay, I'm going to be too nervous if I'm really up high or it's a really big building. Don't go to it. Just switch it. And like we said, we have built in, like, if we have to eat the cost on something and double pay, it is what it is. You have to take care of yourself. And we did this, for your mental health. We came to this building and you already feel way better. It's made a huge difference. I've noticed already today what a big difference it has made for him to move to this building. And, honestly, if it persists, we talked about it today when we got the text from the doctor's office. If he needs it, I said, they're there for you. You can just go talk to somebody and it will help. Because it's not going to hurt anything, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, and you could just stay on a lower floor, too. You ask to be on the ground, second floor or third floor.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with our apartment, we can't do that. We can't ask to move to a lower floor. We're on the 35th floor, and there's cracks in the drywall that we're looking at every day.
And there's another 10 floors above us, by the way.
And so it's like it's a little traumatic. I just it's fine because you use the term like running for your life, and I've never experienced that, but really that's what I felt, and it was just crazy. I think Brenda was asking me if you could have a go bag. Yeah, the hard part about that is that, like, we charge our phones and our stuff overnight, and I think it's just preparing mentally for, like, if there's a disaster, these are the things I need to grab. This is my checklist. That's what I'm going to probably think about, is like, if there was ever another disaster, what would I need to have before I go? Because seconds are precious, and you don't want to waste seconds rummaging, like, do I need this? Do I need this? I was like, I don't have a minute to try to figure out what I need. So if you already know in your mind, and someone else said they were going to be looking to just make sure you know where the exits are. Like, that sounds like a dumb thing, and like,
yeah, the funny thing is that there was literally an exit like across the hall and just like down one door from our actual, because the building is like an L shape, so it's like here, this is the long hallway, and then there's another short hallway this way. We're in the short hallway on the far end of the building, and so there's an emergency exit stairwell right outside our door, practically keep corner, but if you turn right outside of our apartment, it's a dead end. So we never think to go that way. So the thought to go right, we knew that door was there. The thought to go right doesn't ever occur to us because we always go left to go to the elevators. We never go to the right because it's just a dead end. To the end of the hallway. We're like just 2 or 3 from the end of the hallway. So we just always go left. And I think instinctively he came out and he went left instead of right. It's just, again, he just woke up, and it was like, because I asked him, oh gosh, I can't believe you didn't, he went out in his pajamas instead of switching to his regular shorts. And like, when you leave that quickly, and you're still like, you know how it is when you wake up, all of a sudden somebody wakes you up and you're like, oh, you're like so startled, you don't even know where you are and that kind of stuff. I mean, he thought he was on a cruise ship for a minute, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think Cat Mom is right. When you're in an emergency and you're just waking up, you grab what you normally grab first, and that I normally grab my phone and my watch.
Yeah.
It's right next to me. I grabbed that and I just left.
Yeah. A go bag would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David says that Sarah's cracking up about not getting credit for the steps. Yeah, I have my watch on today, and I haven't even left the room.
He can barely walk still.
I did get 2,000 steps today somehow.
I don't know how you got that many.
To the pool.
Must have been just getting out of the apartment and then dragging yourself up to the pool today. We did get in the pool here at the hotel this afternoon just to kind of, it started actually to feel better. I think the water helps, it's therapeutic.
Let's see. Bill is saying that the Holiday Inn Express Bangkok soy.
We're looking at that earlier.
I don't know how to say that word.
Sumvijay
is another 8-story hotel that doesn't appear to have any damage near the hospital as well. So
yeah,
The Holiday Inn Expresses and the Hyatt places are generally all
The courtyards,
pretty low.
yeah, those are all going to be shorter, smaller.
Yeah, Rosanna is saying, "Give yourself grace." We do. We did. You know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You do your best. And,
Yeah. Looking back, you're like, oh, I could have done this. I could have done this. But, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah. We made it.
Yeah.
You learn a lot about yourself. I was glad,
do.
like I didn't push anybody over.
Which unfortunately did occur. There were a couple of guys running down who were just pushing people out of the way, and Rob was conscious of that woman in front of him carrying that baby, and he's like, I wasn't going to let them push her over. I mean, she's trying to carry a baby down all these flights of stairs.
Yeah, they weren't Thai. They were foreigners, and they were barreling down the stairs.
And they were young too, which is
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah, they hit me in the back, and I didn't go down because I was bigger than them. But if they hit the mom with the baby, she probably would have went down. Let's see.
Oh gosh, the Mark 72 or Landmark 72. Yeah. Oh
The
gosh,
Landmark 72. Holy cow.
that would have been super stressful.
Yeah, Ted doesn't want to be the tester of the buildings. Were we in an earthquake in Japan?
We were.
We were in, but it was like a 4.5.
Yeah, it was. I think. Yeah, it was smaller. We were both in the apartment. Yeah, we had one here before, but it was smaller. Also, I think like a 5.3 or something, and it was literally like 5 seconds, and it was over. So and we'd been in one in Hawaii before also, but again, it was very small, so it was just like rattle, and then it's over in honestly just seconds. This actually lasted because it was the actual earthquake, the quake, and then the aftershock right after. And they were both really high. They were literally back to back, so it was several minutes, which was really crazy.
Yeah, Monica, we went out the window on the 6th floor, but there was a ledge, like a place.
So it wasn't just a drop.
It wasn't like a 6-story jump. But we went out the window on the 6th floor, and then we had to jump onto a tree, climb down the tree. And that was like, I don't know if it was on the 5th floor or the 4th floor. It was either 1 or 2. I have no idea how far it was, but I probably need to go back and see. I was thinking they probably have my flip-flops in like a lost and
They
found.
probably do have whatever people threw in the stairwell. They probably have it in a lost and found. We could probably get his flip-flop back. If not, we can just buy some. It's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
There's literally flip-flops on every corner.
I'm not sure I want them. I was shocked though when I saw the people going out the window. I was just like,
You were like, what are we doing?
What are we doing here? I was like, I'm going down. What are we doing? There was a guy there. He looked like he spoke English. I was like, what is happening?
Why are
He's
people
like,
jumping?
He was like frantic. He was like, we're going out the window. He's like, we're going out the window. We got to get away from the building. Okay, that sounds right. I'm going out the window with you.
I'm going to go with this guy.
I was like, yes, I can go with that. That's a decision. This guy is making a decision. Yeah, Ted, thank you. Yeah, it's been 2 days, and 2 days after, like, now my legs are like, my quads and my calves are like, it's like that feeling, in high school, first or second day after basketball or football practice, and you haven't ran in 6 months. Or like that feeling when you're 50 and you haven't gone up or down stairs in 5 years, and then you decide to do it all in one day. It's what is that? Maybe someone's a nurse. It's like, it's not atrophy. That's when you don't move. It's like when you move too much all at once, but you're not used to it. I don't know what the word for that is. Alexa has a go bag. That's good, Alexa.
Yeah, Alexa learned from the LA fires. She actually did a really good job getting her stuff together. Good job, Alexa.
Brunette girl, you do need to come to Thailand and Vietnam.
You do.
I
Yeah,
just,
it's 100% worth it.
yeah, and because it's not just today, it's every day. I mean, days like that what make it all the more evident of just how amazing people are. But every day, they're pretty amazing.
It's like that every day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that everywhere. I have so many stories of people that have helped me, like over the years, just like driven me, called me cabs, given me umbrellas. Like, we should do a video sometime on all the ways the Thai people have helped me out of a major jam.
We have a lot of stories.
And I was thinking,
We get ourselves into jams every once in a while. We're like, how did I end up here in the pouring rain with nothing?
yeah, and I was thinking as I was sitting there after they made me the shoes and gave me the hair ties, and I was like, you know, I'm here in this country, and it's true, I really have nothing to offer, except for I have money. You know, like that's what I have to offer. And the older you get, that tends to be, sometimes you have wisdom, but I don't speak the language, so I can't impart a lot of wisdom on people. So you have money, and that's why, like I read out, sometimes people are like, oh, don't tip a lot, or don't drive up the prices, or, you know, like, this is a relationship, a societal relationship that we're in with people, and we, as people that are of our age, most of you are our age or somewhere around there.
Except for Alexa.
You know, the thing we have to offer is money, and so I may not find those people that help me, but I can find someone else, and I'm sure that they help someone else. And if I can offer them, like Ali gave the motorbike driver twice what they agreed to, because, you know, he's going to have struggles too.
He was so sweet too. He saw how much I gave him. He was like, oh, he was like, thank you so much. It was really sweet.
As I was sitting there, like, and we're sitting there, we're all in the same situation. And so, like, I'm sitting there, I'm just like, like, I'm exhausted, I'm done. And all the Thai people on me, they're just laughing, they're yucking it up. Like, this is, like, they're happy as can be. I'm like,
they're like, it is what it is.
They're like, oh, this is a great day. We have this great. I'm like, how are you that happy? Like, I just want to be around them more so that I can figure out. One day I'm going to figure out how they are that happy. Like, you've never seen people so happy in any situation. Like, it's crazy. So I just say we need to do what we can for the community. And the one thing we can do, us watching this, is you know, we can do things financially. So let's see. Travis says the fire alarm went off at 2 a.m. Grabbed his phone and flip flops. Yeah, it is true.
Yeah.
You do grab what you grab.
It is true. Yeah.
Let's see. I think I missed some stuff here while I was just talking. Oh, we missed a lot of stuff.
I think you missed a lot of things. We do apologize if we missed.
Oh, people want to know what
questions.
happened at the massage place. I'll read the questions while you're saying that.
Okay. So I was like, I finally felt up to going to get a massage. I felt like I needed to get all this tension out of my body and grief and, you know, everything from my dad. And so I had planned, you know, I was like, all right, you know, when you get up, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to go down to the massage shop. I texted my friend who owns the shop. She's out of town, but she, you know, said, hey, you know, told them I was coming, and I wanted my regular girl. And so I get to the shop, and, you know, she was so sweet. Like I said earlier, told me, you know, sorry about your dad, and I'm going to take care of you. She said it with all the love in her heart. You could just see it in her face. And we go up to the massage, and it was on the 4th floor, which is the highest floor of the building that we were in. So we weren't that high. And about halfway through, I think we were about halfway into it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling so dizzy. I feel really nauseous all of a sudden. And so I lifted my head up, and then she was looking at me. And I was like, we were looking at each other, and she was like, are you okay? And I was like, I don't feel very good. She says, I don't feel very good either. And then we both realized what was happening when we saw the curtain was just like flopping. And I was like, why is the curtain moving? And then we realized that's why the bed is also moving, because I thought she was moving it. I thought, why is she shaking the bed so much? That's really weird. She never does that. Well, it was all happening, and then we finally put it together. We were like, "Oh my gosh, this is an earthquake!" And then they came from downstairs, came up. The other staff people came running up, and they were like, "Are you guys okay?" And we were like, "Yeah." Mind you, I'm not fully dressed because I'm in a massage. I was doing an oil massage, not my usual Thai massage where I would be dressed already, but I was doing an oil massage, so I was not. And so we just kind of sat there for a minute. Once it stopped, we just kind of sat and waited. And she was like, "What should we do?" I was like, "I don't know." So she actually finished the massage. And then we went downstairs because they said, she asked her, she was like, "Is it okay?" And they were like, "Yeah, everybody's okay." When I got down there, everyone in that area, because it's kind of a local area, the area that the massage shop is in, they all were just kind of still carrying on. Like the vendors were out on the street still selling their stuff. And, you know, people were still, because there's just little buildings, you know, 2-3 floors. And you know, some of them aren't even occupied. So that's basically what happened at the shop. And then once I was done, I left because I thought, well, maybe they'll just, you know, get the trains running back up in a little bit. Well, that was not going to happen. So by the time I got back to the train station, they already had somebody guarding the stairs. They were like, you can't even go up on the thing, because they hadn't you know, evaluated even going up to the platform to cross the street. So you were stuck on one side, because they have beams and gates in the middle, fences, so you can't cross the major roads. They have things to stop you from doing that. So I went back to the shop because I thought, well, it's flaming hot out here. I can't stand out here and wait. And it was fine. So they just set up a little spot for me. They got me a phone charger so I could charge my phone, set it up in the corner for me, gave me some water, and I sat there texting Rob, trying to figure out how to get back together again.
Yeah. Brian Girl, we'll be here next week.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
we will.
We'll see you next week. I know you got to go.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, welcome. Dave Poon and Retired Life Mexico. Welcome.
Oh, hey, guys.
Awesome. Hey, Wayne. Wayne's going to Da Nang for July and August. How much should I pack?
I wouldn't pack that much.
Not a lot. Yeah. You don't need to pack a lot.
You don't need to pack a lot. You can get your laundry done for really inexpensively locally, and you just don't need a lot of stuff. You don't need big stuff. You don't need heavy stuff. It's going to be toasty. Bring your swimsuit, maybe 2. I usually have 3 with me.
Yeah, we're just excited to be here. We watched we usually watch a show almost every night, like TV show. Has anyone seen the show Adolescence on Netflix? Like, we were like, oh, that looks
like an interesting show.
When we're having a
never ever, mind you, never ever watch a show on Netflix without actually reading what it's about.
If you're having a bad week.
If you're not having a good week.
Because we were trying to look for like a lighthearted
I thought,
show.
oh, this looks like it would be a good show. Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Man, so it's like, we were like, we'll watch this show. It's it's probably pretty light, you know, it won't be heavy. We got to the end of it, we were like, holy cow.
I'm sobbing, by the way, by the time the show is over. I mean, the intensity, I just thought, why did we watch that?
Yeah, what were we thinking?
What were we thinking?
This
It was
week.
a very good thing to watch. Just don't watch it when you're already traumatized or already grieving or already struggling with something. You will not come out well on the other side. It was a really weird time to watch it. I don't even know why we finished it.
So
to
now
be honest.
we're watching.
Now we're sticking to an old favorite.
Yeah.
Our good friend, Mr. David Attenborough, is doing a special, and it's beautiful, and it's about the British Isles. And we are learning so much about the British Isles, which, by the way, is now we want to do a trip around the British Isles. But we also love to listen to David. I mean, David could read the grocery list, and I would be happy with that. I just like the sound of his voice. So whatever he says, it's like a grandpa voice. I love it.
So now we're gonna see all your YouTube channels tonight. So
yeah, I think we're just
tomorrow.
gonna watch your YouTube channel. So
Yeah.
nobody put up any videos of anything stressful, because that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. Tomorrow's our YouTube viewing day, so we'll be watching your videos. Those of you in the course, we'll be watching your videos tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I haven't watched yours, Dave and Nikki. Cute, but I only saw like the first few seconds of it. I'll watch it for real tomorrow.
Yeah, Brenda, do not watch that show.
Yeah, Brenda.
Do
no.
not watch it.
Yeah, no.
Oh
If
my
you need
God.
levity, that's not gonna bring it.
Yeah. So I'm back to baseball. Yeah, Brenda, tell Jeff I'm trying to get a hold of him. I need to talk about the Tigers.
That's right. He needs a little, for his levity, he needs to talk sports with somebody.
No, the British Isles show is on Amazon. It's called, I think it's called British Isles.
I think it's, yeah, Wild Isles.
Wild Isles.
Wild Isles,
Yeah,
I think it's called.
it's pretty good.
Fantastic. It's
Oh,
beautiful.
Shizard is doing that cruise. We saw that cruise.
Oh, on Cunard. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, we might be looking at one.
yeah, yeah. Definitely go Tigers. Monica, the cruise for the link is in the YouTube course, not the retirement travel.
YouTube course,
For the
yeah.
Rome cruise, it's
Yeah.
in the YouTube course.
That Mediterranean cruise is only for the YouTube.
Jade Explorer's brother was in Japan.
Oof.
Yeah, the good thing about Japan is all the buildings are pretty low.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the reason,
Mm-hmm.
but
And they actually also considered that when they built the train system, and especially the Shinkansen, that's tested actually regularly for the earthquakes as well. I know they do a really good job there because they obviously have a lot more earthquakes there.
yeah. So a couple housekeeping things. So Da Nang is coming quick. If you're going on the Da Nang trip with us, it is, well, it's the 31st here already.
Yeah, we've already.
So,
it's after midnight.
April 1st is tomorrow. We're within 2 months of Da Nang arrival, so start scoping out your visa and jump in the GroupMe group chat if you haven't. There's some good planning starting in there. It'll pick up a lot more in the next few weeks here of things people want to do. So if you haven't jumped in there, do that. There is still room on the Rome cruise for the YouTube community.
Mm-hmm.
There is still a little bit of room on the Iceland-Norway cruise for the retirement travel Jumpstart community. There is a little bit of room on the Antarctica cruise, and that's for anyone. If you're watching this, you can go on that. And the safari has been full. That filled the minute it was out, so that one is gone. But we will be, Allie's doing the Bali lady trip.
Yes,
Is there
I'm
room
still
on-
doing.
is there room on that?
There is still room. Now I think the
hotel.
the points rooms on the hotel I think are all gone, but you can still get a cash rate room at the hotel.
Yeah, and the Da Nang, the hotel is almost full.
Yeah, from us.
From everybody. It's gonna be amazing. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Somebody asked how much the date we're doing a day trip to Wei with our group from Da Nang, and somebody asked me how much it was going to cost. The day trip is an extra charge, and I was talking to the guide that's setting it all up and is going to drive us and stuff. And he's like, well, I need to know how many people it is. Well, the number keeps changing. It keeps going up and up. So it might be 2 buses instead of 1. So that's why we're still waiting.
Yeah. It'll all work itself out. It always does. So, just jump in there, though. Make sure you're in the group chat so you don't miss anything.
No, this will definitely not make us afraid of Thailand. I think we love Thailand too much. And to us, it really is like a second home. We really do feel like we're home when we're here. So I don't think it will ever change. I don't anticipate that changing.
If anything, more, because, like, the thing is, like, this can happen anywhere. Like, if you say, well, we should leave and go back to California, there could be an earthquake there. You know, there could be one in Japan. There could be one in wherever. So it's not, it's not any more likely, I think, to happen here.
Yeah.
You just can't, Cherie says, yay, Da Nang is coming quick.
Yeah.
I need to start scoping out some restaurants, because...
Yeah, we've got a lot of, so we'll have to, next week we'll talk about the original topic. We changed it, obviously, because there was so much to talk about with the earthquake. Next week we'll be talking about the immense number of nights that we have booked in hotels, and now even more because now we're staying in hotels. We left the majority of our things at our apartment and we just packed 2 smaller bags. As a matter of fact, our host had 2 small bags on top of the closet, and I was like, if one of these is empty, I'm just going to take one of these because I don't want to empty out my other bag. So I just took one of the host bags. Rob was like, whose bag is that? I was like, I don't know, it was on top of the closet. I'm bringing it back, so I don't feel bad. I'm just borrowing it.
Yeah. Shree says we're getting the biggest hug when she sees us. Warning.
I will actually accept it, and I'm not a hugger. If we've never had that conversation, ask Rob. He knows the most. Alexa and I, if Alexa's still on here, Alexa and I are the least huggy people. And Rob and our son Elijah are probably the 2 huggiest. They will hug you, and you're just like, why are you hugging me? This is lasting way too long. Cherie, I'm going to accept it because I do need one, and I would like one from you, specifically.
No, I haven't thought about Bali yet. And Bonnie was asking about the group chat for how long. I haven't set it up yet just because there's not that many of us going.
You better set it up.
I probably need to set it up.
Bonnie says, let's go.
Bonnie's going to get on me. Yeah, we got to get that one. We also have to get the Hong Kong chat set up.
Yep, we'll get those going.
Yeah.
We're trying to get back on track this week. I think once we get back on track, I was talking to my sister, and she was like, oh, I feel so discombobulated because she's been going back and forth. And I said, we just got to try to get back into the swing of things a little bit at a time and just kind of feel like you're getting some semblance of normalcy. That might help. But just still taking the time to, grieve and kind of decompress from all of the things happening at once. Thank you, Monica. I will also accept a group hug at this time.
Padar channel was in Bangkok also. They said they carried their 4 dogs down 20 flights.
Oh my gosh.
Now they can barely walk because their thighs hurt so much, but my dogs are sleeping soundly, completely unaware of anything.
They have no idea the sacrifice you made for them.
That reminds me of something I said to Allie when we got back to into the room. And I said, if I'd have just slept through the whole thing, the ironic thing is I'd have been fine. Like, just 7 hours later in the bed.
He wouldn't have known the difference. He's like, why are there cracks in the
I would
wall?
have been unaware.
It was too violent, though. The movement was too violent. You couldn't have possibly slept through it.
Or for that long. But, yeah, my legs, just my thighs, like you said, running down all those flights of stairs that fast, man, your thighs hurt. They're terrible.
Yeah.
It is hard to stand up. That's the best way to describe it.
You know what's interesting is that somebody was talking about that the earthquakes in California, those big ones, were actually not as big as the one that we had here a couple of days ago, which is crazy because the damage from those earthquakes in California, those two big ones, was insane. I thought it was way higher than it was. We went and looked because we were like, I wonder how big that was. It's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
Alexa's in the anti-hug club. Yeah, when Alexa was young, and you would ask her, do you remember what we used to call a hug, Alexa, when I give it to you? Special kind of hug. Aravinda is sending out virtual no-touch hugs.
That is the kind of hug that I love. Thank you, Aravinda, and that's why I love you.
You can hug me, though. It's fine.
Rob will accept your hug. You can give him mine if you want as well. Oh, no, don't say that, Scripty Monica. Don't call it. Don't call it to you. You just had the fires. That's enough. We'll go with that for now.
Yeah, Keith, I need to hear all about this prospecting when we get
Rob's
together.
Very interested.
I want to hear all about this.
About
I have so many questions. No, it's not a squisher, Alex. So
a squisher.
Yeah.
That was something else.
That was something else.
That was something
it
else.
It was a softie. The softie.
Because
hug.
she didn't want to actually be fully embraced, so you would just tap, put your arms around and just tap. Is what she
softie.
It was a softie. A squisher was something else.
A squisher was when I just try to.
Rob always had these interesting games with the kids. And I'd walk in and I'd be like, what's happening here? And there would be like, doing a plank from the island to like the counter in the kitchen and eggs rolling around. I'm like, I don't know what's happening here. You know what? Don't tell me. Just do what you're doing.
The best game we ever came up with was that Alexa and I played when she was in high school. It was called Dodge Yoga. Do you remember this? Dodge Yoga. And so it was dodgeball and yoga combined into one.
And you might say to yourself,
how do you
that's
do
an
that?
Interesting thing.
Alexa, do you remember Dodge Yoga with the big red ball?
we had at my desk in one of our homes, I used one of those big exercise balls to sit on as a chair. Instead of a chair, I have this big, those big exercise balls.
Yeah, so the Dodge Yoga was, I never had to do the yoga part because I couldn't. So Alexa would have to do a yoga pose, and then I would kick the dodgeball at her, and then she would try to hit me with the ball, and most times she did. So sometimes I'd miss and
she was really good because
stuff.
At that point she did competitive gymnastics when she was younger, so she was incredibly flexible and still had maintained a lot of her routine from when she was in competitive gymnastics, and she was quite good at that actually.
Yeah, yoga to piece. We had so many great games that we would play when Allie was asleep, because Allie worked early in the morning. We would just stay up inventing these amazing games. And
sometimes I would get up and I would, make my coffee and stuff early in the morning, have the house to myself. I'd open the trash can to throw something out and I'd be like, what in the world? And it would be like soft serve yogurt or something. Like they had gone out in the middle of the night to the gas station to get like soft serve yogurt. And just thrown the cups out and just other nonsense. I'd find all kinds of interesting things in the trash from their nighttime shenanigans.
Yeah.
He was the night parent and I was the day parent because he stayed up late at night.
Yeah, soft serve
yoga.
That'd be good.
That would be good too.
Yeah.
Yes, the joys of homeschooling. We were always up to some kind of shenanigans with homeschooling.
The worst thing about homeschooling was, since Alexa's here, I can say this. So I worked from home as a photographer. I worked from home, and Alexa was homeschooled, and she was at this point working out.
When they got to high school, I was working outside the home briefly.
Alexa and I were home together. Alexa was doing school, and I was doing work in my office in the house, and it was like National Take Your Daughter to Work Day or something. And so she's like, all right, well, I'm just going to come sit in your office with you, Dad, in the house. And so I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So she comes in, and she has a huge bowl of chili. She walks in, hits the corner of my desk, and the chili just flies.
No, it was rice and beans.
Was it rice and beans?
Yes.
It flies all over the floor. I'm like, this is the greatest.
Alexa's prone to running into
greatest,
things, which is amazing because she was so good at gymnastics and having good balance, but she had a hard time not running into
I don't know how we
she
got
would
that.
trip going upstairs, and we're like, how did you get that bruise? People are gonna think that we hit you or something. She's like, I don't know, I think I fell on the stairs, I don't know.
I don't know how we got that cleaned up before your mom got home, but we managed. So yeah,
Good times.
It was pretty funny. Well, CB wants to know, how do I join your travel group? So the trips, almost all the trips are for the retirement travel Jumpstart community. And so there's a link in the description to that community, the course and community. They're all in one. The community is with the course. So all the details for the trips are in that community. So if you join that course and community, you will be in there.
Thank you, David.
Thanks,
yes,
Dave. Yeah,
it's,
that's good. We were looking forward to this.
yeah.
It's been a long week, but
Alexa said there was 1 grain of rice per piece of carpet.
it's true. There was 1 grain of rice per piece of carpet all over my office.
Oh my goodness. Poor thing. You never did want to do
And
that.
then-
Take your daughter to work thing again. He was like, please, no, don't bring your lunch in here.
One day when Alexa was in gymnastics, she was trying to do like flips down the stairs, and she came around the corner. She was flipping down the stairs, and she tried to do like, if you know the Olympic event where there's like the parallel bars. Well, we had a house with two like, what are they called?
Railings?
Railings, not banisters. Like
No,
down the
they
stairs.
were railings,
The railings down
on
the
a
stairs.
particular part of the stairs coming
Well,
down.
she grabbed both of the railings and tried to like launch herself in a flip, and both of the railings like snapped. I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like, how are we gonna fix this before your mom gets home?
I got home, I was like, what the heck did you guys do? And mind you, she's a small human. She's not a big person. She's tiny. And she was even tinier then. I was like, how did she even do that?
She was strong.
Oy,
a lot,
oy, oy.
lot of leverage. A lot of leverage.
Oh my goodness.
Melty says, thanks for your Social Security plus 1 million video. It inspired me. When I hit 2 million saying we are still fearful it isn't enough. Yeah.
Oh goodness, I know,
Yeah.
that's tough.
It's
It's
tough.
tough. It's tough. I get it.
It is tough because I was talking about this with someone just last night. I was like, we just compare ourselves to who we're around.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll always feel like you don't have enough
Mm-hmm.
until you know, Alexa says that's when her Olympic career ended.
Was over. Alexa, David's asking, do these live chats feel like tell stories on Alexa event?
It's turning into that.
Alexa is a character.
She has a YouTube channel. She can tell stories about us.
Yeah, she doesn't tell stories.
I've
about
done-
us. She
I
does
did-
mention us though.
I did plenty of dad joke things for her and her friends to make fun of over the years. There's plenty of stories.
Indeed.
So yeah. Oh, Scripty Monica just hit 900 subscribers.
Ooh.
So this is the thing, guys. I know a ton of you have channels, and like a lot of people are getting to 600, 700, 800, even 900. Like, make that push in the next 2 months.
Do it. Do it.
Get there, and
It's worth it.
I want to see you guys hit some
we got
gains before we get to
several
Danang.
more
Yeah.
people got in there
Yeah.
too, or just got monetized recently this last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
So that's exciting.
it's coming for you. Just keep your eye on the prize.
Yes.
Do not be distracted. It's good. We're taking a couple days off, but you guys keep your eyes on the prize.
Alexa says, hey, as long as everyone is getting a laugh, share away. There are a million Alexa stories. She was quite a character, and as if you've watched her videos, you know she still is. She adds bloopers to the end of hers, which I know so many people have asked us about, but Alexa's bloopers are hilarious. She puts
funny.
bloopers on the end of I think almost all of her videos have bloopers on the end. They're pretty funny.
Yeah. So, did we cover everything?
Covered everything.
I think we
And
covered.
the moral of the story is, yes, still come to Bangkok, still
Yeah.
come to Thailand if you're planning on coming, but make adjustments if you feel uncomfortable to stay, where you will feel most comfortable. But if the hotel is open, then it is safe to stay in. Like I said, they did spend quite a bit of time checking these buildings. Each of the buildings has their own engineers, plus, they're also like the government engineers too. So if it's open, then that means it's okay. So I would still come.
Thank you, Monica. Really means a lot to us. And it was, I have to say, this was easily the hardest week of our travel life since we sold everything. There's no doubt. It's not even close. This was easily the hardest week. And the amount of people, like, I think last night and the night before, I just laid in bed reading all the comments because it made me feel better. And so sometimes, when I leave a comment, I couldn't respond to them all, but, sometimes when I leave a comment, like, well, did the person even see it? Like, I just want you to know, we saw all your comments on all the social media and on YouTube. And it did mean a lot to us. It really did. It made us feel better. And that's the great part about a community. Like, that's the thing that people say is you need to have a community. If you're going to do this, you have to have a community. Whether you start a YouTube channel or you join a community or you figure out how you're going to get in a community, because you can't do it without a community. You can try, but it's...
Yeah, I mean, even us, like, we're really close and we have each other, but we need more community, even for both of us. And that's why it is so nice to have that.
Yeah.
And we do really appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Thanks, David. Yeah. Yeah, by November it'll be fine, Leandra.
Oh, welcome, CB
Welcome,
Wallace.
CB Wallace.
Gold.
Yeah, so I think that's it for us. We're gonna go to bed. We haven't slept in several days very well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to bed and take a few days off. And Jack, hope you have an amazing time in Bangkok.
Yes.
We're gonna just miss you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we'll be.
That's unfortunate, but we'll catch you later in the
we'll
year.
be nearby, but not in Thailand.
Yeah. All right, so we'll be back next week, hopefully with a more normal video. Maybe the one that we plan to do this week.
Maybe with Rob. So let's get back to precedented times.
Yes. No more unprecedented.
No more unprecedented events for us. We're good now. Check, check, check. We're done for 2025.
So thank you, everyone. You guys all have a great day. Stay safe. Thank you for everything you've done for us. It's meant a lot to us, and we appreciate you. So we will see you next week. Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye,
Have a good
guys.
night.
Thank you. Have
Bye.
a good night.